Imam Ali, peace be upon him, was giving a sermon in the mosque. Everyone was listening quietly and attentively when suddenly some people came running in, clearly scared. Imam Ali asked them what was wrong. They said, "Master, a lion is coming this way, it's huge, and we're really afraid." Imam Ali replied, "There's no need to be afraid, it won't harm anyone." Just then, a big lion appeared right in front of everyone, but instead of attacking it went straight to Imam Ali and came to his feet. He lays his head down, then right behind him a tiny lion cub follows. That lion was actually a lioness. She says to Imam Ali, "Peace be upon him, Master, this is my child. The father is no longer in this world. I want him to be safe and grow up well. I have come to entrust him to you." Imam Ali, peace be upon him, replied, "Go, don't worry. I promise this child will never feel like an orphan." The lioness asked, "Master, who will take care of him?" Imam Ali, peace be upon him, answered, "My son Hussein." Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, the protector of no one takes better care than him. Then I, Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was called. Imam Hussein came forward, took the child in his lap, gently stroked his head, and said, "From today his name will be Abu al-Haris. He will stay with me." The tigress walked away calmly, and the child started growing up with Imam Hussein, as if he had found a home time past. The lion cub, whom Imam Hussein had lifted into his lap, was now grown up. Wherever Imam Hussein went, he was always by his side. Now he was just... There wasn't a single animal left. He had become the Imam's companion, friend, and loyal supporter. People knew him as Abu al-Haris. He came from the forest, but his heart was softer and wiser than most humans. He had a deep love for Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. Whether it was day or night, traveling or resting, Abu al-Haris stayed close to Imam Hussein's side. But time changes things. Abu Haris had grown into a young man. His body was strong, his voice booming, and his walk carried power and authority. Now, whenever he passed through an alley, people would shiver inside their hearts. A strange kind of fear was settling in. One day, some men from Arabia came to serve Imam Ali, peace be upon him, and said, "O Ali, the lion who stays with Hussein, peace be upon him, has grown bigger and more dangerous. We are worried that one day something bad might happen." Hearing this, Imam Ali, peace be upon him, fell silent. His heart was filled with memories of Abu al-Haris's innocence and loyalty, but he also deeply understood human nature and their fears. They entered the house. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was sitting quietly in a corner. Ma Ali, peace be upon him, was near him. He came over and gently said, "Son, peace be upon him, I'm not saying anything myself. It's the people of Arabia who are saying that Abharat has grown up. Now people are getting worried about him. My advice, son, is to set him free now." Hearing this, Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, bowed his head. Tears welled up in his eyes. He stayed silent for a moment, then looked toward Ma Ali, peace be upon him. He gave a slight smile and said softly, "Yes, dear father, whatever your command is, please. Just let this day pass. Tomorrow you won't even notice him." Imam Ali, peace be upon him, asked, "Son, what's so special about today?" Imam Hussein alayhi salam looked outside and replied, "It's evening. Now this isn't the time to be sending anyone out of the house. This time is meant for giving shade, for protecting from the sun, not for leaving someone out in the heat." Imam Ali pulled his son close to his chest. He didn't say anything else, just silence, a silence that spoke everything words couldn't. The night passed. When the city's time came, Imam Hussein alayhi, he got up, prayed tahajjud, and like every day brought food outside for Abu Haris. Abu Halis looked on in surprise, and Mullah was asked why Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was so quiet so early in the morning. After a while, he sat down and gently told Abu al-Haris everything. As soon as Abu al-Haris heard this, he felt silent. There was a quietness in his eyes that went straight to the heart. After a few moments, he bowed his head and said, "All right, Mullah, I will leave, but there's one condition." Abu al-Haris, say Mullah here. He raised his head, his eyes wet, and said, "Just let me meet you once more in my life, just once." Hearing this, Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, stayed silent for a moment, then said, "Remember Abul Har, the date will be the 10th of Muharram, year 61, Hijri, the place We'll be near a mountain, Karbala. You will hear a sound that will be the time of our last meeting. When you hear that sound, come straight. There I'll be waiting for you. I'll remember you. There Ab Hadith quietly asked Master, when that day comes who will call me back? Will you call out to me, Imam Hussain? Peace be upon him, replied, No, Abu al-Har. Abu al-Hard asked again, Then will your brother Abba's peace be upon him call me? Tears welled up in Imam Hussein's eyes. His heart was full. He came and said nothing. Ab Harris fell silent. Then Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, wept and said, Our mother Fiza will call out to you. It said that even today in Karbala, the spot where Bibi Fiza called out to Abu al-Harris, still exists when Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, dismissed Abu al-Harris. He said, Abu al-Harris, go to the land of Iraq near Ninway. There is a forest whose lion the king has now died. Go there. Rule Abu al-Harris bowed his head, kissed the steps of the master, and set off towards Ninway, and there the story of Ashura continued. It was evening in the Karbala plains, and there was an eerie silence, but behind that silence a storm was brewing when haze, at Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, was martyred. Umar bin Said gave the order to trample over his body with horses and desecrate his sacred remains. When this news reached Kamaka, it was like the end of the world at that moment. Lady Fisa came to Hazrat Zainab, peace be upon her, and said, O my pure lady, the Prophet's companion was on a sea voyage when their boat broke down, and they landed on an island where they encountered a lion. The companion said, Please don't harm me, I'm Muhammad's servant. So instead of harming the lion, he led it back to the right path. Remembering this, Bibi Faiza said, Oh, my pure lady Saya, there's a lion living in this area. Abu al-Har's, this is the same lion that Mama Hussain, peace be upon him, raised and loved during his childhood. If you allow me, I want to go towards the forest and call him. I want to warn him about these cruel people's intentions. Hazrat Zainab, peace be upon her, silently nodded and gave permission despite her old age. Bibi Fiza quickly moved around the Karbala battlefield. He set off. The only name on his lips was Abu al-Haris. He faced the forest and called out loudly, Hey Abu al-Har's, your master made a promise to you. Today is the day. Biz's voice echoed through the air, crashing against the forest winds. The trees trembled. After a few moments, the ground began to shake, the bushes rustled, and then that lion Abu al-Har's came charging like lightning, roaring fiercely right in front of Bibi Fisa. Tears welled up in her eyes. Her voice broke as she said, Hey Abu al-Har's, do you even know what do these tyrants want? They want your Lord Hazrat Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, to have his pure body desecrated. They want horses to trample over his sacred body until the corpse is so mangled it can't even be recognized. Hearing this, Abu al-Haris's eyes turned red, his feet slammed hard on the ground. He let out a roar towards the sky, a roar that sent shivers through Yazid's army. Abu al-Haris was no longer just a lion. He had become the honor of loyalty, the fire of love for Hussain, peace be upon him. And the voice of the oppressed Bibi Fesa just said, This much now is the time, Abu al-Haris, the time to keep your promise. At the call of W. Fusa, the lion Abu al-Haris shook the ground, his roar echoing far and wide, reaching the battlefield of Karbala with his wife. That moment when the body of Hussain, peace be upon him, lay unburied and unnoticed on the cursed field, the sky was silent, the earth still, and even the angels wept. Abu al-Haris stepped forward, quietly, gently approaching the blessed body of Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, who sat down on the ground, bowed his head, and sincerely stained his forehead with the blood of the Lord, as if sealing his loyalty with a mark on his brow. It said that when the soldiers of Yazid's army on horseback, as they mounted their horses intending to trample over Hussain's body, their eyes fell upon a strange sight. A lone lion was sitting right beside Hussain's corpse. The horses, startled by the scene, panicked and started running wildly in all directions. Soldiers fell off their mounts. Some turned back, others trembled with fear. No one dared to come near Malo Hussain's body. This was no ordinary lion, this was Abu al-Haris, the orphan from childhood, whom Hussein had raised, loved, and protected now, as a guardian of loyalty. He was standing watch over Hussein's sacred body when the news reached Dumer Binad, and his face turned pale, his eyes widened with fear shaking. He said, "Don't let anyone know about this, it's a trap." He knew that if this secret got out, the face of cruelty would be exposed forever. When Bibi Fizikayim Haram returned, she informed Hayes, "At Zanab, peace be upon her Sida, Mala, Husion's peace be upon him body is safe. Al-Haris is there as long as he's around, no oppressor can come near. And so as long as Al-Haris sat on that ground, no rider, no dagger, no horse could come close to Imam Hussein's peace be upon him honored body. He couldn't break down, dear friends. Abu al-Haris sat for hours, maybe even days, right where his master Hussein, peace be upon him, was resting without a shroud or coffin. Then one night, when the air of Karbala was silent and the caravan was getting ready for captivity, Imam Zainal Abidin, peace be upon him, told Lady Zainab, peace be upon her Aunt Amma, tell Abu al-Haris it's time to leave now. He has fulfilled his duty of loyalty. So Lady Zab, with the same courage, went back to Abu al-Haris and called out, "Abu al-Haris, the master commands you to go now, Abu al-Haris." Then Bib Faisal looked towards him, her eyes moist, dust on her forehead, and a broken peace in her heart. Then he rose and came close to the blessed body of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, and bowed down one last time. Bib Faisal saw tears streaming from the lion's eyes. Then Abu al-Haris slowly walked away from Karbala. This was the loyalty of a lion that outlasted humans, became a wall against the oppressors, and declared to the day of judgment, "I belong to Hussein, and he is my master." Dear friends, let me clarify that this incident is not recorded in the Quran or Hadith, but rather it's a popular tradition that's shared as an expression of love and respect for Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. Our aim is not to present it as history, but as a feeling of love for Hussein.